Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to the segment of Code Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. Our recitation today begins with the composition of Bhagat Ravidas Ji in the rag Dhanasari. It's a short passage, and we shall proceed by reciting it one verse at a time. The first verse. Dhanasari Bhagat Ravidas Ji ki हम सर दीन दयाल ना तुम सर अब पतियार क्या कीजै बचनी तोर मोर मन मानै जन को पूरन दीजै. So, हम सर दीन. Deen means poor, impoverished. Here, Ravidas Ji is talking about spiritual impoverishment. None is as impoverished, he says, as I, Hum Sar Deen. And on the other side, none as compassionate as you, Dayal na tum sar. And so then the question is, why are you testing me further? Ab patiyar kya kijai? Why am I being tested? This is a very intimate dialogue. Bachani tor, may your word carry me all the way through. More man manne, by absorption in my mind. May your word be absorbed by my mind. Bachani tor, your word, more man manne, my mind should accept, absorb, and internalize. Janako Puran Dija. Janako, here he's referring to himself as the servant, the slave. Grant the slave. Puran. Puran means complete, which means I'm fragmented. Grant me full integration with you, meaning I want to be an integrated whole. So the term deen here is not about low self-esteem or self-negation. It really is an existential realization of inner fragmentation. The ego, the self, it's all fragmented. So deen here really means incomplete, not complete, because he wishes to be complete, Puran. And so compassion, the compassion is the necessary space that is needed. And so therefore, trust is transferred to the authority of the word, sabad. So the question of what assurance is needed is really the turning point. The ego always demands proof. Ravidas Ji is saying that the sheer contrast between my need and your nature is proof enough. So the bachan, by allowing the bachan into the mind, the boundaries between haume and the har, they begin to soften. In the rahau, how bal jao ramaiya karane, karan kavan abol rahau. Very interesting. How bal jao ramaiya karane, meaning again and again, I surrender myself. Karan kavan abol. What cause is there for this silence? Now, this abol, silence, is a very sophisticated spiritual trope. It suggests that the seeker has done their part, bal bal jao, yet the expected quote unquote response from the divine hasn't manifested in a way that the human ego can recognize. So asking karan, kavan is a form of gila, argument. It's not a lack of faith, it is intimacy. You only ask, why are you silent, of someone you know who is listening. Do you see? So, silence represents, in everyday terms, the withdrawal of the ego's projections. Ravidas ji is talking about that state where the ego is no longer projecting and speaking to pure presence, the sustainer, Ramaya. And then in the end he says, Bahut janam bichare the madho, eh janam tumhare lekhe, keh Ravidas aas lag jeevon, chir bhayo darsan dekhe. For many lifetimes have I been separated, O Madho, O sustaining one. This life is dedicated to you. E janam tumhare lekhe. I live in hope. Aas lag jeevon. It has been long. It has been long. So many lifetimes should not be misunderstood because Gurbani uses vocabulary that was existing, samsara, janam. But always bear in mind that Gurbani recontextualizes these terms into psychological mapping, into the existential present, rather than just a linear, literal reincarnational model that is found in Puranic thought. It's not that. So this metaphor of many janams simply implies a long period of inner alienation. It's inner alienation, fragmentation of the mind being incomplete, constant, restless, dying and being born. That's what the ego does every moment. So it needs to reorient itself. It needs to pivot. Nadar. One moment of true connection can incinerate millions of lifetimes, meaning a sudden awakening that renders everything past irrelevant. These are morphic patterns. We die and we are born every time we fall back into an old habit, an old fear, or an old desire. This is what Gurbani calls being lost in the labyrinth of Maya. Maya are our artificial constructs that we keep rotating in. So that is what Ravidas Bhagat Ji is telling us to get out of. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.